Welcome to CBSE English Tutorial, a visual guide.
Today, we're going to crack the code on a piece of English grammar that I promise you is absolutely everywhere once you know what to listen for. We're talking about the present perfect passive. Let's get right into it. Okay, so let me ask you this. Just imagine. You walk into a room and boom, there's a broken window. But you have no clue who did it, right? The action, the broken window, is super obvious. But the person who did it? A total mystery. So how do you even talk about that? Well, that's the exact puzzle we're going to solve today. And the perfect tool for that broken window mystery? You guessed it. It's the present perfect passive. This tense is just designed from the ground up to shift our focus. So let's break down exactly what that means. Okay, so the main idea here is actually pretty simple. We use this tense when we care more about the thing that received the action, not the person or thing that did the action. So with our window, right, the important part is the result, the fact that the window is broken. Who actually broke it? Not so important in this context. And this little comparison, it shows that shift perfectly. So look on the left in the active voice. He is the star of the show. It's on about him. But then on the right, in the passive voice, suddenly the work gets the spotlight. See that? The focus completely flips from the doer to what was actually done. It's a really powerful switch.
All right, so we get what it is, but the real question is, when do you actually use it? Let's check out 4 key situations where this tense is not just useful, it's pretty much essential. Okay, first up, we use it for actions that are finished, but we're not saying when they happened. The exact time just doesn't matter. Second, it's perfect for emphasizing the result. You know, that big feeling of the work has been finished, it's done. Third, and this goes right back to our poor broken window, we use it when the person who did it is either a total mystery or just isn't important to the story. And finally, you're going to see this all the time in formal and official writing. Think scientific papers or business reports. Why? Well, because it sounds more objective and impartial by focusing on the event itself, not the people involved. Okay, let's roll up our sleeves and get into the nitty-gritty. How do you actually build one of these sentences? We're going to start with the most common form you'll see, just a straightforward positive statement. Here it is. This is the magic formula. You start with the object, that's the receiver of the action, then you tack on either has or have for singular, have for plural. Easy enough? Next comes the word been. That's a key ingredient. And you finish it all off with the past participle of your main verb. You know, words like completed, written, or broken. Let's see that formula in action right now. The work, that's our singular object, so we use has. Then we add been and top it off with the past participle completed. And there you have it. The work has been completed. It fits the formula perfectly. Okay, let's try another one, just to make sure it sticks. This time, our object is letters, which is plural. So what's the one thing that has to change? Yep, we just swap has for have. Letters have been written. See? The rest of the structure stays exactly the same, super predictable. But wait, what if you want to say the action hasn't happened? Well, turning a positive into a negative is incredibly easy. All it takes is one tiny little word. So look at the formula now. It's almost identical. You just take the word not and you slide it right in there between has or have and been. That is literally the only change you have to make. That's it. Let's go back to our first example to see how it works. Our positive sentence was, the work has been completed. The negative version, the work has not been completed. So simple, right? And no surprise, it works the exact same way with our plural example. Letters have been written becomes, you guessed it, letters have not been written. The pattern is super consistent, which makes it really easy to remember. All right, final piece of the puzzle. We've handled positive and negative statements. So now, how do we ask a question? I bet you can already guess it's just a simple little flip in the word order. So to ask a question, all you have to do is take has or have and move it right to the front of a line, just before the object.
And for a negative question, the logic's the same. You just keep that not right where it was, after the object. So let's take our statement, the work has been completed. It easily transforms into the question, has the work been completed? All we did was swap those first two parts. That's the whole trick. And here's a fantastic example of a negative question, but using a super common contraction. So instead of the pretty formal, have books not been read, what you're way more likely to hear in everyday conversation is, haven't books been read? It just flows better, it's more natural. Whew, we've covered a lot of ground here, right? We've talked about the what, the when, and the how. So let's just boil it all down to the absolute must-know essentials, the key takeaway. Think of this table as your ultimate cheat sheet. Seriously, it lays everything out, positive, negative, and question forms with the exact structure and a perfect example for each one. It's the whole thing in a nutshell. But if you only remember one thing from our whole chat today, please let it be this. This right here is the heart and soul of the present perfect passive. Has or have plus been plus the past participle. If you can lock that little chunk into your brain, you can build any of these sentences, no problem. So, I'm going to leave you with a little challenge, a question to think about. Now that you know the secret code, how often are you going to hear this structure today? I mean, really listen for it in the news, in your emails, in conversations. The rules, well, they have been explained. Now it's your turn to spot them out there in the wild.
Thank you for watching. See you again in a bit.